Hey guys, so today I'm going to film a garden tour. I'm going to show you the good, the bad, the ugly, and the downright depressing. I'm starting off in this area first because this is what the property looked like when we bought it. Some of the property still looks like this. We have a 1 acre property, which I'm transforming into a garden. I'm going to give you a tour of the back garden area, so I'm starting off in this area. And this is my fern covered pathway. It leads into the shaded garden area. It's have a few different types of ferns. I have a Japanese painted fern right here. I have some holly ferns, Christmas ferns, cinnamon ferns, and some ostrich ferns. I'm going to be adding a lot more, and this whole area will be mulched up. If you turned this way, it leads into the main center of the garden. Beautiful blackberry bush. This bed, I have a boomerang lilac. And those bushes right there are viburnum bushes. They were here when we first purchased the property. It took a couple years to figure out that's what it was because this whole thing looked like this area, so it took me a while to discover those. The depressing part about this situation this year is a mama raccoon lives in this tree with her 2 babies, and she comes out on the regular and she's been tearing up a lot of the garden area. I plant something new, she'll dig it up or just rummage through certain areas like this one right here. A little bit of pathway damage. I put cardboard down as my weed suppressant, and then I mulch it for pathways. This area needs a lot of work. I have 2 quick fire hydrangeas. The upper level, which I'm not going to go all the way over there, that's the side of the house. I'm planning on turning that into a rose garden. You can see some orange daylilies up there. I do have a few roses up there. There's a red one right there, if you can see that, but this whole area needs to be weeded and mulched, and I have some evergreens that I'm going to plant over here to stop this whole hill from eroding. The purple plant that you see is invasive. It's all over the property. I knew what it was at one point, but I kind of forgot the name of it, but I've been battling that for years. Spirea bush right there, and I have another spirea bush on this side. This is an oak leaf hydrangea, ruby slippers. So we're going to walk down through this pathway. These rocks, I found them on the property. I think it might be the old foundation to the house. I have a few of them. I'm planning on doing something with them, but I don't know quite yet. I might be replacing this little area right here with that, make like a wall. This is my staircase leading down into the main part of this back garden area, which is not finished yet, and it needs to be weeded. A lot of areas need to be weeded back here. We've been having a lot of rain, and then the weeds just get away from me, but hopefully I can get this staircase finished this year. My husband's working on this project, so that is the staircase lined with orange daylilies on each side. I'm going to turn down and walk down through this way, which is the shaded garden area. I have a rose of Sharon right here. This property had a lot of rose of Sharons all over it. A lot of them are in the woods. I dig them out and I bring them to this area. We're going to take 2 steps down. In this area, those are the viburnum bushes that I was talking about. It's like 4 of them here. They bloom a lot in the springtime. They're starting to get their berries on them. So this area is covered with hostas, corabelles, ferns, and hellebores. Quite a few different kinds. There's some corabelles, pink fuzzy bells, heuchera, Dorothy's Dawn, hellebore. I have winter bells. I have Anna's red. Just a lot of different hellebores. I'm going to show you some more raccoon damage right here. Once again, I lay cardboard down while I plant, then I sheet mulch with the cardboard, then put mulch on top of that. She's been going to town on a few areas, tearing up a lot of stuff. I need to work on fixing this. There's some holly ferns right here. So once again, this whole pathway is going to be covered in ferns. Hopefully in the wintertime, I'm going to work on clearing out a lot of this. I'm going to make this area my woodland garden. That branch right there came down in our winter storm. I haven't been able to cut it up yet, but I will be working on that as well. I have a wildlife pond over here, and yes, it is dirty. It needs to be cleaned, but it's always frogs in here. It's always tadpoles. There's salamanders. I don't really want to affect the life in it by just draining it out. So I would have to like clean it by hand. I don't know if you guys can see anything. Oh, there's a frog over on this side. Let's see if we can get close to him. Right there. And you know, it's not even leveled, so it really needs to be cleaned and re-leveled. I don't know what happened with this, but like I said, it's a lot of life in here, and I really don't want to disturb any of it. But I will be working on a way to clean this out without killing anything. This area was my favorite last year. It's filled with various different types of hostas. I have some heuchera. It's not mulched yet because I'm dealing with a mole problem. I thought I got rid of it, but I guess he came back. If you look at the two hostas, the lime green ones, I believe it's called winter snow. This one is large, this one is small, and they were both the same size when I bought them. I believe the mole runs through this area and it's affecting the growth of the hosta over here. But once I get this straightened out, I'm going to weed it, mulch it, probably add in a few more colorful corbels in this area, and this will be complete. Directly across from this bench area, well, okay, behind it, the tree is a eastern redbud tree. Behind the tree are two bridal reef spireas. They bloom in the springtime, covered in white blooms, which quite lovely. So directly across from this bench area, I have an iris bed on the side, two variegated hydrangeas. And once again, this whole area needs to be weeded. So that's the bed on that side. I am planning on having a koi pond back here somewhere. This area, the ugly, my husband's gonna build me a nice cute little tool shed in this area somewhere. This flower bed needs a lot of work. I've reshaped it, but I haven't really done much to it. I have two sweet summer hydrangeas here on each side. Those are crepe myrtles. I'm not sure the name of it, but I love how the leaves have like a red, they're like red and green, if you can see that. On the far end of that flower bed is a lilac and a couple other little plants. I will probably in a video weed all this out and mulch. Maybe move a couple things, but this area needs a lot of work. If you go up these two set of steps, directly right there is my strawberry bed. Quite a few different kind of strawberries in this bed right here. To the right, that's where the staircase is. So, vegetable garden. I have 6 different raised beds. I'm growing some tomatoes and I need to get some tomato cages. I'm going to be making some this year, hopefully, which I haven't done that yet, but I do have some zucchini growing right there. Have some different squash over there. Tomatoes, cabbages. I'm not sure if I'm going to pull these or not because they don't do well with the heat, so they might need to just be pulled up. I do have a eggplant that I planted that my mom and dad gave me. There's another one right there. I have some sunflowers, some cantaloupe, some honeydew. My mom and dad gave me this too. Looks like it has leaf miner damage. I'm probably going to pull that. I think that's broccoli. Once again, it's not going to do too well with the heat. Watermelons over here, some more sunflowers, have some corn. Behind the corn is a container with some blueberry bushes in it. So let's go up through this way. This pathway is new. I'm having a problem with it though because there's a hill, and when it rains, the water rushes down the hill, moves the cardboard, and moves the mulch, mixes it with mud and into the whole garden area. I'm going to work on a solution to fixing this. But in this bed right here, that's some lemon coral sedum. I have two different other kinds of sedum. I'm not really sure what's the name of that is. And this is a totem pole grass. This is the second level of the vegetable garden, which I got some more summer squash. I have some green beans. I'm gonna have to reseed some more green beans because the raccoon got into this bed and did some damage as well. Along with this one here, she dug up a squash. I don't know if you guys can see like that area. That's like dig marks. So I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram, but this is the area where the baby rabbits that I found were living. That's the frogs over there making noise. The baby rabbits were living under here right next to the second level of the vegetable garden. So as you leave the second level of the vegetable garden, I have two hydrangeas on each side of this pathway. And this whole area is new this year. I think about my third or fourth video, I cleared this area out once we chopped down that big oak tree that was dead. But on each side of the pathway, I have two hydrangeas. It was labeled phantom hydrangeas, but that's not what they were. Once they started growing, I realized that's not what it was. I'm not sure what kind these are, but the butterflies love this. They stay on this bush when it starts blooming all the time. I have this really beautiful daylily that I got from Walmart, and that wasn't labeled, so I'm not sure what that is either. This flower bed, I'm going to be doing some work on it because the lamb's ear, Helen von Stein, lamb's ear, which is really beautiful, is starting to take over and smother out a lot of plants. So I'm going to be digging some of this up. I'm probably going to give some to my mom and dad for their garden, and I'm going to relocate some of it into this garden. But I do have some lovely bellflowers and some veronica, and there's some alliums there. And that rose, it doesn't have any buds on it right now, but that rose, the smell is like one of the best smelling roses ever. It smells like raspberries and just a really beautiful violet type color rose. It's amazing. So on this side, I have some more lamb's ear and more bellflowers, and I had some alliums earlier this spring, black lace elderberry, and another boomerang lilac. I love lilacs, so I want this whole garden to be filled with lilacs in every setting area just so I can enjoy the smell. I'm working on this flower bed right here. I'm probably going to do a video after this one comes out of me planning up this whole area, but I do have just a little bit of things already over there. This pile of cardboard I'm going to be using for this pathway. This pathway is going to continue on the way down through there, which this hydrangea I believe strawberry vanilla needs to be dug up and planted elsewhere because the pathway is going to run down here. I don't know if you guys see my first video, but that's the, let's go over here. Okay, this is the orange truck bed that was on the property. We did not initially see it when we bought this property because of how wooded this area is. The first video I showed you guys, there's a lot of trash on the property. There's like a ton of tires over there that I'm still working on removing. So this is the orange truck bed. I piled it up with sticks and stuff and logs because I was going to use it as a burn pit, but with all the rain we've been having, I haven't been able to burn up anything. So hopefully in the winter time, when I know isn't like snakes or ticks or anything like that around, we're going to cut this truck bed up and get it out of here. So the pathway is going to run, almost fell. Pathway is going to run down this way. So you're going to be able to go down this area or turn here. And I'm hoping on having a second vegetable garden in this area right here. That tree is a white dogwood tree, which I'm going to be keeping that. So that area right there, that's where I said I was going to have the tool shed. So we're going to turn up here. This whole area is new. So I carry the lamb's ear onto this side of the flower bed. I have a rose there, blue spruce, and lacatina. I have some little quick fire hydrangeas here, some irises, and some daylilies. I have a bobo hydrangea there, and I have some daisies right there on this side. Setting area, I think I'm going to be putting pea gravel in this area. I'm not sure yet, so it's not finished. I do have a strawberry plant in this pot right here. Another bobo hydrangea. These irises are called Dangerous Mood. Really beautiful irises. I have another boomerang lilac. They bloom about 3 times a year. Not so much in the summer though. Wagila. It's another bobo hydrangea. A lot of these shrubs I got on clearance last year. This whole area right here is new. I planted this up early spring. And the fence that you actually see are floorboards. When we were renovating inside the house, the floorboards in a couple rooms were ripped up, and I saved those. My husband made me a picket fence out of that, just to kind of hide the ugly, some of the property, which I haven't cleared out yet. It's going to be a steady process of trying to make this whole area a garden. And it's an acre. It's going to be a lot of work. I'm hoping you guys can join me on this journey through this arbor. After I'm done planting that flower bed over there, I think I'm going to work on this area here. I'm going to plant these spruces going down this way. It's like a slight hill, and I'm going to connect the pathway. There's the truck bed to the pathway over there. So I'm going to work on this flower bed, making this a flower bed. It's not a flower bed yet, but it does have a maple leaf viburnum, a couple ferns over here that I might be keeping. So this area, fern leaf, bleeding hearts. I have some cherry truffle heucheras, bloodgood maple, some Brenner on that pot. I have a Woolala hosta. This rock here, I think, like I said, with the other rocks I found it on the property, I think it might have been part of the foundation at one point. I have a Empress Woo hosta in a pot. Spearmint heuchera, caramel heuchera. It doesn't look like it's doing so well because the tag said full sun. Planted it in full sun even though I knew I shouldn't have, and it got burned, so I just put it in this pot so it can recuperate a little bit. I have this Shadowland Diamond Lake, I believe, hosta. Another really pretty hosta. If you guys can see the cardboard back there, I stopped the planting right there because I think I'm planning on putting in maybe like 2 steps so you can access the back of this flower bed. I think this is wild rose heuchera, but I'm not like sure. Have to put the name on the screen. Hydrangea in a pot right there. Pathway continues, and I have some supertunias. I have some limelight hydrangeas. I think I skipped over these hibiscus evening rose. I got 3 of them right there. So these are the limelights, and that's the setting area down below. Once again, this garden is on a hill. I have a rose, some thornless blackberries. I have some pieweed. This is a beautiful rose. It smells wonderful, but the Japanese beetles are feasting off of it. So I'm gonna have to do something about that, fix that. But this is a really amazing rose, and it smells wonderful. I have a peony down there, and that is some paper whites. So let's walk back down through this area again, just so you guys can get the feel of the whole thing. I'm using these pavers right now as a border. You need to keep the mulch separate from the pathway, but I don't think I'm gonna keep those there, but that's where they're at for now. And that's what this whole area is, and this whole back garden area. Hoping you guys can join me on this journey to create this whole, turning this whole property into a garden. So thank you guys for joining me on this tour. If you liked it and want to see what I have in store next for this property and want to join me on this journey of creating this whole garden, hope you like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.